It's often been asked, why does this generation of young adults have such high levels of diagnosed anxiety and depression, like literally off the charts? And some people have said, well, actually, everyone has always had these same levels of anxiety and depression. It's just gone underdiagnosed. You know, previous generations didn't really even know what that was. They certainly didn't go to a therapist. They didn't seek the help that they actively seek now, which I think is true. That's definitely a factor. I do think anxiety and depression are way more prominent and common than we realize. However, I just wanted to make a good point that my husband and I were talking about as we've lived in different parts of the world and kind of seen like who are the anxious and depressed people that we're encountering, like what do they have in common? I will say that anytime you are working outside, working with your hands, tending crops, taking care of animals, gardening, anytime you have a job that is pretty heavy labored involved, typically you have lower rates of anxiety and depression. And as you look into studies that try to explain that, it talks about how when you get really tired, it actually relaxes your muscles. It actually does release some endorphins. It calms your body. And so you're just too tired to be depressed or anxious. You come in from work and you go to sleep. And it's also very therapeutic to work in the dirt, to work with your hands, to sweat and to do things like that. And so in the past, while yes, many boomers and people, Gen X, and boomers, things like that, they didn't truly seek the mental health help that we millennials and Gen Zs do, but they also had much more physically demanding jobs. We are behind screens all day. We are sitting all day. And so it really is no wonder that we do have the levels of anxiety and depression that we do. God did not make us just to sit all day. And so sometimes you can't help that. That's the job we have now. That's the world we live in. But I just think it's good to be aware that there are natural, quote unquote, remedies to help us battle anxiety and depression. And this is coming from somebody that is on medication for anxiety and depression. So this is not a judgment. This is just more of an observation.